Hello everyone and welcome back to SpartanGaming plays Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. This should be the final part. So yeah, I mean it definitely will be the final part. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. The next part's not too long, but yeah. The last video was reaching a bit too high, so yeah. So if we look, we just need to perform experiments, but we need to talk to all the suspects before we do, so. Give him a once-over once more time.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly, I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Guess you forgot to put
Mr.
his
Hamish.
dirty clothes on.
Continue our investigation.
So that's one person done.
A task list for Albert, compiled by Martin Hamish. Sweep out the palm house, scrub the toilets, clean the storage shed tools.
I think if I've missed anything, I mean, we have the board to do. Ah, Watson. Oh, you said a naughty word to you then, Watson. You shit. He gets in the way all the time. I don't understand why he is. I never struggled with Watson being in the way in the last games. He always kept a distance. But this game is trying to get in my ass, and I don't like it. He's not brought me dinner, for God's sake, if he wants to get in my ass.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of something, or Lear... Pontus, or... No, wait. These Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10:10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
No expression in his face. It's weird. We need to talk to Margaret next. There's a lot of back and forth in this mission. That's why I don't like it. It's just too much. Like, at least, like, it's not like the first mission in this game where you keep going back and forth between the police, the Scotland Yard and stuff. At least this one doesn't have you going back and forth to Scotland Yard, because that would be just annoying. Oh God, we're going to listen to this bloody woman again.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
Her voice is weird.
Time you saw
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
In the laboratory.
Thank you, miss.
God, even I can't put on a snobby accent.
Everyone has
It's too
gone.
common.
The way is clear.
What are you doing, Watty? Everyone just fucked off. Go on. Right. So we've got to do the events thing. So inhales spores was definitely number one. So he inhaled some spores, knocked over the statue, and that's it. That's basically the sequence that we had to put together. Two things. So difficult. Oh, Pope. A strong old man to smash down the door with his arm.
Was standing close by the plants. The caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
That to me is quintessential Sherlock Holmes right there. Him reenacting the scene in his head and talking about it. I like that. That's very cool. You know, he's logical in his deductions, isn't he? Thing is, what killed? Did he die from the poison or did he die from the head wound? Because he smashed his head on that, didn't he? But then again, I guess the Sherlock did say that if you inhale enough of those spores, it will kill you. It's a shame.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Yeah, you stand right under those caterpillars, Watson. Watson! Let's go this way. So, basically, we need to follow the pipe. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Oh, bloody confusing. Through here. Should have gone the other way. He probably would have been quicker. We'll go this way because we need to activate certain things. This one here, which is underneath Hamish's
We can see the interior of
room.
the colonial collection room from this window.
And as you can see, we can't activate the ventilation because it's not on yet for some reason. And I've just remembered that. So yeah, I kind of shouldn't have gone this way. Whoopsie. So when I said before about needing to come over here later, this is what I meant. You can't do anything until you get to this point in the game.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started.
Oh, turn off the transmission then.
The engine has started.
There we go.
The ventilation system is working.
And now we can go around activating the vents. But only specific vents. You see these ones here. This one.
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
And the other one is outside Hamish's window or office, desk. is here.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just...
Something on your face there, lad.
These caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Guess that means that Hamish is the murderer. I mean, who would have known? Hamish's opportunity. Martin Hamish had the opportunity to stimulate the deadly plants in the Colonial Collections Room. As a biologist, he would have understood the technicality of how to do this. Sect scheme. The divine sect left the plants at Kew Gardens in order to murder Montague Dunn, or they weren't involved. Someone stole the plants before the divine sect were able to. So if you click this one, and this one, must be here. Albert's lack of experience. I was not very good at botany. It is doubtful that he could have learned how the plants might really set deadly spores, or Albert had the biological knowledge to simulate the deadly plants. He had absolutely no idea. White's lack of experience. The knowledge Miss White acquired at university might not be enough to guarantee the deadly and correct reaction for the plants, or her knowledge. Miss White had the biological knowledge to simulate the plants, which she did. And I'll click that. And that. What's wrong with this one? Hamish is guilty. Martin Hamish could be the killer. He had the opportunity to stir the Divine Syndicate's plans and stimulate them from his workplace directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collections Room. And then we need to arrest him. There we go.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
This one. I think we just need to go to the Strad. Here he is. In his natural working environment.
I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Oh, look at his gun in the back.
I shall wait to hear from you.
Sometime later.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
What? Why? I don't need to hurry. Is it being pinned down by a bunch of sexy cops? Oh no!
Holmes, my God.
My God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
He's
Inspector,
absolutely still.
Please, I should like to examine it.
So, this guy murdered Dunn, and then he decided to go, you know what, I'm killing myself. I mean, to be honest, he would get the news anyway, but you know what I mean.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
I mean, shouldn't his tongue be hanging out when you get hanged? I've never seen anyone get hanged before. I really don't want to.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot.
Oh.
Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
He left us a letter. My life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. Technically, he didn't, but... We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I should do so here and now. Farewell. Thanks, mate. Hamish's confession, and it's got a club foot. Everyone knows what a club foot is, right? He was unable to run due to the tibal torsion in his club foot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door to the room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an accomplice? Did he have an accomplice? Did he? I think we know he did. Talk to Lestrade. Discuss with Lestrade the possible impact of the new clues found in his body. Thanks for that.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
Oh, now you're tweaking my buttons.
Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Canal. Feels like it's been years since I played Jack the Ripper.
Facts and statements, so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
So this is you drag and drop colour into colour. It's not too difficult. It's not as difficult as the one in Jack the Ripper. That was kind of that was kind of hard to do. So yeah, Montague and Hamish met Albert at the Seed House around 9:30. So this one here. So 9:30. It was around 20 minutes to 10, so 9:40, when Hamish and Montague Dunn went out to the backyard. So 9:40. 10 minutes, Dunn recommences inspection and entered the dry topics room. So 10 minutes later, dry tropics. And 10 minutes later, he went back to the seed room. This should be right, hopefully. Martin Hamish had a conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. So this one with 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory until 10:40 when she saw Hamish and Albert in the Water Lily greenhouse. So 10:40 was there. Hamish ran to Albert as he observed that Montague Dunn wasn't well, and that was around 10:30. Wait a minute. Oh, is one of these the wrong one? I know, 10:40 she saw and returned, joined them. What the hell are these then? Hamish returned after talking to Miss White. So he had a conversation at what? Talking with Miss Martin Hamish. So, would that be like that? Albert was in the seed house the entire morning. He observed Hamish returning from visiting Miss White at 10 past... Oh, I should really read down. 10 past 10. And that means that this guy died here. I think. Let's see. I think the 10 past 10 ones might be wrong. I love how that's in the way and I can't see this. Thanks, video game. I'm guessing that says 10:30. How about Hamish ran to Albert? Which one's that? Oh, there. Sorry, I read that wrong. He ran to Albert, which was at 10:30. I really should just read, like, properly. I should be right. I thought 10:30 looked a bit suspiciously blank. Yeah, so there he goes into the Colonial Collections room. Blah, blah, blah. Poison. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time.
More than enough time.
Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
I mean, it's fairly obvious, isn't it? Hamish lacking alone. So you can accuse the syndicate. Oh God, I can't remember how though. I'll have to do it in a minute. Albert's not involved. Martin Hamish and Albert are not accomplices. It's unlikely that Albert would have had the opportunity, and 10 minutes would not have been enough to lock the door. I mean, it would have been enough to lock the door. He had enough time. 10 minutes would have been enough for him to follow him, lock the door, in order for Martin to activate the ventilation system. That's true. White had time. She had 20 minutes. It would have been enough to trap him in. She could have locked the door and alerted Martin Hamish to activate the ventilation system. Martin Hamish and Miss White are not accomplices. It is unlikely that White would have had the opportunity, and 20 minutes would not have been enough. She had time. Everyone had the time. But I mean, everyone had the time. So, go back here. Now then. So, I think if we want to accuse Albert, we can just click that. Oh no, that's if we want to accuse White. If we accuse Albert, we could change these two. This one. Okay, and now I need to check. Yeah, I'll check for the other one. Just give me one sec. Okay, so I kind of I think it's before you have this Hamish's opportunity, you can accuse the Divine Syndicate. But as soon as you know that Hamish is guilty, you can't accuse them anymore. I kind of fucked up there. But yeah, you can do it so Hamish did it alone. You can also do it where White is an accomplice or Albert is as well. Now, the question is, who is the accomplice? Because he had an accomplice. He had to have. I know who it is. So, let's count to 3 and I'll pick the right one. Hold on, let's see what happens when I click this. Hamish did it alone. Martin Hamish committed the murder alone. He loathed Montague Dunn because of his treatment of Hamish's father. Hamish had enough time to lock Dunn in and activate the ventilation fan from his workplace. Glory to Lestrada trumped the police. Martin Hamish killed Montague Dunn in revenge for his father. Revenge for what? That's nonsense. I'm not reading that nonsense. We can say Albert. Albert was Martin Hamish's accomplice in killing Montague Dunn. Humiliated repeatedly by his father and denied his dreams, Albert resorted to aid and abet the murderer. Okay. Or White is an accomplice. Margaret White and Martin Hamish accomplished killing Montague Dunn. Her professional and ambitious and personal situation has been damaged by the breakup with Montague Dunn. Yeah, it's Miss White, just in case you didn't realize. I mean, it's fairly obvious. Like, being cut off financially from her sugar daddy basically means that she ain't going to that university. I mean, maybe she can still go to university, but her extreme spending of money that's not hers is definitely going to be stunted. But yeah, we can condemn her. Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder for monetary gain. She flirted with Dunn's son, Albert, later pushed Martin Hamish to suicide. She deserves the rope. That's such a thing to say. Yeah, she needs a rope, mate. You can absolve her. Miss White is a desperate woman in debt that she put herself in. Now, don't forget that. Resigned in consorting with wealthy gentlemen. When Dunn cast her aside, she killed him in desperation. Hamish tried to save her. She deserves a second chance. She does not deserve a second chance. I will absolutely have nothing to do with absolving Miss White. She killed the fuck out of this guy. Like, she put herself in debt. End of the day, and she decided to kill this guy because he was cutting her off. And then she decided to turn, oh yeah, let's try and get him with his son. That would sort me out. But yeah, I'm condemning her. Fuck this lady. She's a murderer. She may not have poisoned him, like, personally, but she had a hand in his murder. But yeah. Like, the last one where we didn't condemn the sailor guy, you know, it kind of makes sense for me as the person I am. Is he was protecting somebody. You know, he was protecting the lady from her violent husband. You know, I mean, he didn't go there with a weapon. You know, he wasn't premeditated. You know, self-defense and all that shit. But yeah, this woman, I'm trying to justify this answer, but I guess we all have fucked up reasons.
How can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
I don't know why she's here though.
Obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining. The deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate.
Not who has would have got them.
Will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular.
A quick time event.
Pulses of women have always been a mystery to me, but she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Yeah, there's a quick time event, as per usual. Hello, lady.
Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes. Good day to you.
You seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult.
I don't care what you think.
Someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
Someone bitch, you're gonna poison us.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
She's gonna get the rope anyway, so what's the point of having to kill herself? I mean, you press W and then you have to click on her hand, so get prepared.
Not one step further.
Wait for it.
Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
She's gonna die.
No, it's too late.
Ready? I hate this part. Oh, thank God for that. Oh, I failed that enough times before, trust me.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Gonna be judged. You can't just kill yourself, lady. We have to judge you before we can kill you. So, Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder. When she realized she was unable to make any further monetary gain for Montgomery, well, I keep wanting to call him Montgomery, as in Burns, Montague Dunn, she advanced her affairs to Albert, his son. She was the one who locked the door to the Colonial's collection room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars, and then pushed Martin to his suicide only to cover herself. She got what she deserved. She fucking did. Did we get everything? Oh, we did. 22 out of 22. Beautiful. And it was correct. And there we go. Very happy about that. It's a shame that this the ranking thing doesn't work. It's a shame. I'd like to know how many people made the same moral choice as me. But who knows? Hopefully everyone made the same moral choice. Some people are just not as I can't even say evil. That was the correct choice, surely. Surely everyone thinks that, surely. But yeah, there's the Kew Gardens drama done. There's only one more case after this. Something to do with a half moon or something. I don't remember it being that good. I'm gonna have to replay it to make sure it's any good. But yeah, that'll be next time anyway, peeps. So yeah, hopefully you've had fun watching me bumble myself around the Kew Gardens. Again, like I said before, I don't find this interesting. This case was kind of meh, you know. I guess the twist with the accomplice at the end was kind of like, oh, okay. But at the same time, it was just like, yeah. You compare it to like the Abbey Grange, it's just like, yeah, he just felt unnecessarily drawn out. But, you know, that's my personal opinion, and my opinion means shit to people. So yeah. But until the next time, peeps, one more case, and then yeah. So I'll see you in the next video, peeps. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.